Hey everyone, it's Katie, and welcome to The Spark, your new Thursday boost from the Creative Boom podcast. Just when you thought you couldn't get enough of us, this is your creative pick-me-up as we approach the end of the working week. This week, I had the absolute privilege of sitting down with Khyati Trehan, a designer and 3D visual artist at the iconic Google Creative Lab in New York City. Khyati gave us a glimpse into one of the most innovative spaces in the world. It's a real treat considering there's so much she can't share. What stood out to me most, though, wasn't her talent, but how she just juggles it all seamlessly, working at that cutting edge of technology, collaborating on personal projects like visual designs for her sister's music, and somehow finding the time to decompress with reality TV. She's someone who clearly thrives on creative chaos, channeling it into everything that she does, whether that's bold visual systems or thoughtful side hustles. I mean, I have been running this gig at Creative Boom for more than 15 years now. And let me tell you, I've met so many successful and smart people, and they all have something in common. They love what they do. They thrive off hard work. They don't stop creating. They're not afraid of making mistakes. And they don't hesitate if they need to completely change what they're doing. They're just not afraid. I was concerned Khyati was overdoing it, but she opened up about avoiding burnout and why she's actually energized by her profession. I must admit, it was inspiring, but I guess when you're in that world, at the top of your game, working somewhere like Google Creative Lab, and you're surrounded by these incredible people, there would be this huge desire to just keep pushing, wouldn't there? Figuring out how you could keep going, how you could expand your possibilities. Because if you don't, someone else will. And I can imagine it's a competitive place where you'd really thrive and you'd want to ensure you don't miss an opportunity, not one. And hey, if you're young and you're full of energy and ideas, maybe that's ideal. Khyati mentions this, that her current setup won't be forever. For now, though, she's enjoying it, and I know she's someone who will pivot when she's ready to, whether that's back in India or in the States. Her thoughts on the ever-changing role of generative AI in creativity were interesting too. In her words, writing prompts doesn't make you an artist. But AI can enhance workflows when approached thoughtfully. For Khyati, AI isn't a replacement for creativity, but it's a collaborator in expanding what is possible. So if you've ever wondered how someone can stay ahead plus balance so many creative pursuits without losing momentum, or if you just want a peek behind the curtain at Google Creative Lab, go check out our chat with Khyati Trehan this week and let us know what you think. Now on to this week's creative news. Spotify has unveiled loads of new features to enhance video podcasting and support creators. Premium users can now enjoy ad-free video podcasts, while creators benefit from an audience-driven payout model and Spotify's new partner program, combining revenue from premium views and ads. These updates aim to help creators connect with fans, grow their audiences, and monetize their content effectively. With over 640 million users and 250 million subscribers, Spotify is seeing rapid growth in video podcast consumption, with 2/3 of podcast listeners preferring video formats. The platform now hosts over 300,000 video podcast shows, would you believe? And it's growing every day. You could say Spotify is finally ready to rival YouTube in this field, but we shall see. It's the platform everyone's talking about. Blue Sky has assured users that it has no intention of using their content to train generative AI tools, a stark contrast to X's new terms of service, which permit such practices. While Blue Sky does employ AI for content moderation and its Discover feed, the platform clarified that these are not generative AI systems trained on user data. Despite Blue Sky's stance, external companies could potentially scrape public posts, as its robots.txt file doesn't block crawlers from organizations like OpenAI or Google. The platform, which has grown to 17 million users, is exploring ways to protect user consent while bolstering its moderation team to handle increased activity. Blue Sky's position underscores its appeal as an alternative to platforms like X and Meta's Threads, both of which openly use our content to train AI models. And finally, the gaming industry is shifting toward forever games or live service titles, driven by Gen Z's preference for social interaction and self-expression. These games generate revenue through in-game purchases, which accounted for 67% of global gaming income in 2023, far outpacing traditional sales. Developers now compete for players' limited time, with gaming platforms increasingly hosting events like concerts and TV premieres, blurring the lines with social media. While this model benefits large studios, small developers face challenges in standing out amid rising costs and fierce competition. It's time for the Spotlight, where we highlight an inspiring story from Creative Boom. And this week, we're looking at what does the future hold for creativity? We're looking into our exclusive survey where design leaders reveal their strategies and predictions for the year ahead, from AI integration to dealing with economic pressures. So what did we find? Well, the creative industry is gearing up for 2025 with cautious optimism despite economic challenges and rapid technological change. Design leaders predict shifts towards purpose-driven work, AI integration, and strategic growth. Studios are focusing on flexible, evolving brand strategies, selective client relationships, and fostering internal culture and learning to navigate these headwinds. AI will play a key role, with leaders seeing it as a tool to augment creativity rather than replace it. There's also a renewed emphasis on work-life balance and meaningful partnerships, with agencies prioritizing sustainable practices and impactful projects to align with the evolving expectations of clients and employees alike. And now it's time for our book of the week, where we highlight a must-read for creatives. And this week, it's Wipeout Futurism, The Graphic Archives. Celebrating nearly 30 years of the iconic Wipeout video game, Wipeout Futurism dives into its groundbreaking design, 3D graphics, and electronic music legacy. Written by gaming journalist Duncan Harris and featuring contributions from the Designers Republic, the book showcases rare concept art, exclusive interviews, and insights into how the game revolutionized gaming and graphic design forever. With its futuristic aesthetic shaped by TDR's sci-fi-inspired branding, Wipeout defined an era, bridging the worlds of gaming and electronic music. This definitive illustrated history is a must-read for fans and design enthusiasts alike, offering a deep dive into one of gaming's most influential creations. It's a true smoker's delight. For our tip of the week, we look at the Creative's Guide to Finding Happiness. Creative work can be deeply fulfilling, but it can also be exhausting, stressful, and overwhelming. So this week, we explore advice from creatives on finding happiness within the chaos. Key strategies include finding joy in self-expression, balancing work with personal life, and practicing mindfulness to stay grounded. Creatives also stress the importance of honesty with yourself, letting go of control, and maintaining a positive outlook, something that is super important right now. Prioritizing self-care through proper rest, nutrition, and exercise is also crucial for long-term happiness. As one contributor wisely notes, happiness is always a work in progress, but by believing in yourself and taking small, meaningful steps, you can cultivate a more joyful and fulfilling creative life. For more tips, check out the article on Creative Boom. Now it's time for Letters to the Editor, where we share your thoughts and reactions to this week's guest, plus to anything else that's been on your mind. Sarah Turner wrote in about this week's guest, Khyati Trehan. I loved how she spoke about creativity being an endless source of energy for her, and it made me rethink my own relationship with burnout. Her take on generative AI was particularly refreshing. Instead of falling into the AI is taking over panic, she talked about it as a collaborator. Her ping-pong approach to mixing AI and traditional tools was such a cool way to think about it. It reminded me that these tools don't have to take away the joy of creating. They can actually make the process even more exciting if you use them right. Ben Mottershead of Never Dull Group shared his thoughts on Dave Sedgwick's chat last week. Great episode, and I feel some of the talking points to my very core. A number of personal situations has made me completely reflect on what I want to be doing and what I actually enjoy. I started my business during COVID due to a job loss, but it was always a desire of mine to have my own agency ever since I was about 22 or 23 years old. However, when I finally achieved that goal and quickly realised it isn't all it's cracked up to be, I did start to reflect on why I'd chosen that pathway and what actually matters in my life. I love what I do, but it's also become the thing which has prevented me from also doing a lot of the things I love. Have you got something to say or a question for the podcast? Send us an email at letters@creativeboom.com. On Monday, our guest will be Barrington Reeves, creative director and founder of Two Gallus in Glasgow. Tune in to hear us discuss the evolving landscape of creative agencies, particularly the shift from traditional models to smaller, more agile studios. We'll also explore the impact of technology on agency capabilities, the changing demands from clients, and the economic challenges faced by the industry today. Until then. That's it for this week's episode of The Spark. I hope you're feeling refreshed and ready to take on whatever comes next. Don't forget to check out Creative Boom for more stories and features, including everything we mentioned today. You'll find all the links in the show notes. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on Monday.